Welcome back to another episode of Horror Freaks, a place where we talk horror all the time. We have a guest on here all the time. You know the routine. I'm not going to explain the rest to you because you should know this by now. Anyway, sorry for taking too long. No, we don't have any of our guests taken hostage. Alright, I'm not going to talk anymore. Let's get this show on the road.
Hi, I'm Ashley of the Movie Oracle, and I am here to answer some of Strange Monkey's questions.
Well, are we ready to take a look?
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect! Oh, God. Got anything smaller?
All you need is a chainsaw for an arm and a shotgun to be just like Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead. Hail to the king.
Hey, isn't that supposed to be a chainsaw?
You want a piece of this? Yeah, I didn't...
Rated M for mature.
Come on, you freak!
Help!
Come on, take it like a man.
Chasing me!
We now return to Horror Freaks with our special guest, the Movie Oracle. Question 1. If you could remove one sequel from a horror franchise, which one would it be?
That's a tough one because there are so many horror sequels in franchises that I hate. But off the top of my head, it's a toss-up between Leprechaun Origins and one of the Exorcist prequels, probably Dominion. The reason why I picked the Leprechaun Origins one is just because I actually like that film. The only problem is that it has absolutely nothing in common with any of the other films, and it doesn't feel like it's even part of that franchise. It feels like it's a completely different entity and it just shouldn't be there. So it makes no sense that it's even part of the franchise. So that one I would rather just acknowledge as its own film and not part of the Leprechaun series. I like Exorcist the beginning, even though there are so many plot holes. It's a fun story because I do enjoy prequels. I love anything that gives a sense of mythology and anything like that. But why did you have to do it twice and in the same year? It's the exact same story. Majority of the dialogue is identical. So Exorcist the Beginning and Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, it's mostly the same, and yet magically one of them is indeed worse, and I think that Dominion is actually worse. I just don't understand why you do two identical films in a film series and even in the same year. Like, they're not reboots, it's just damn near identical scripts just done differently. It's weird. I know it wasn't good. Like, they had some little nuggets in there that were interesting. I don't think Exorcist needed a prequel. A prequel is actually very counterintuitive of what was done in the first film, but I think that it was still interesting nonetheless. But they didn't need to do it twice.
Question 2. Which found footage film scares you the most?
Found footage is actually my most hated subgenre of horror films. I don't like found footage films. They piss me off to no end because mostly what happens in them is everybody is being stupid, the plots are illogical, everybody's actions are just moronic, and the camera work is crap, so I can't really see anything to really care about anything. But that being said, back in the day, the first found footage film I ever watched was The Blair Witch Project, and when I was younger, that did indeed scare me. And then I grew up and watched it, and I'm like, I like it, but it does not scare me anymore. And then there was The Taking of Deborah Logan. I don't remember if that one ever actually scared me. Found footage films don't really scare me, and they rarely get a jump out of me. That just typically doesn't happen. But The Taking of Deborah Logan I actually thought was really interesting. I liked that it combined a horror story with the themes of Alzheimer's, and when they were kind of doing that, it was actually pretty on point for the subject of Alzheimer's. So I actually thought it was really good. It had some good moments. It's not perfect. There's a few few moments in there where I'm just like, oh no, why'd you do that? But on the whole, yeah, maybe had some moments where made me go, ooh. But scary? No found footage films scare me. That's, if one happens, I'll tell everybody, because that'd be amazing.
Question 3. If a monster has you cornered and you had to choose between a machete or a chainsaw to defend yourself, which one are you going with?
Well, I'm a very logical person, so that depends. If it's a chainsaw that needs to be plugged in, then no, I wouldn't use that one. As long as the chainsaw works and is either, charged or full of gas, whichever one it needs, I would go with the chainsaw because it's going to cause more damage. But if none of those things are going to work, if it is not charged or it does not have gas or it's blunt or anything like that, then I would go with the machete, because the machete is never going to run out of any of those things. You just got to keep swinging. But I feel like the chainsaw is more effective. You can get shit done faster, chop up said monster, and then run like hell. But also it might be heavy. It really depends. It really depends. But if it's good working conditions, I'm going with the chainsaw.
Is there anything that you would like to advertise? Any upcoming projects?
As for any upcoming projects, at the moment I am tackling a watch through of every film in the Saw series to playfully point out all of the errors in every single film. This is not to be hated, this is just to be fun. On top of that, I will be having another installment of my Story Behind series. It's one of my favorite series that I do on my channel. It's where I talk about the real life events, people, and stories that inspire certain films, typically in the horror franchise. I have done Story Behind Winchester, Annabelle, Hannibal Lecter, Scream, Chucky, The Entity, and I'm loving this series, and so I have another one coming up soon, and of course more coming up in the future. But aside from that, just good old rankings, reviews, movie trivia, and any discussion or topic-based video that pops into my head that I wish to discuss, or TV series reviews. Besides that, I have nothing else to advertise, but thank you for offering. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed my answers today. Thank you so much for having me.
Horror Freaks will be right back.
On August 20th, go back.
Father Merrin.
How do you know my name? Before the beginning, and witness a new chapter of evil.
Unclean spirit, I cast you out!
Exorcist, The Beginning. Rated R. Starts August 20th.
I'm not interested in being exploited.
Sarah mentioned that Deb's been sleepwalking pretty bad, so let's set up surveillance cams.
And now, a moment with Noodles. Godzilla would mop the floor with Psycho Gorman. Goodbye. And that was a moment with Noodles. Thank you very much for watching Horror Freaks. If you enjoyed this episode, then be sure to subscribe and click on that notification bell. We'll be back with another episode very soon.